I think that just stay young, look around you, observe, and download stuff. I mean, I think this was fantastic, download and just basically, I talk to clients and I say, do you watch TV between 7:30 and 9:30? I don't. Everybody else does. I said, what makes you think everybody else is from another planet and you're from another planet? No, I am busy. I said, all right. What makes you think that somebody else is not busy? Yeah? It's not as if tu hi busy hai, baki sab vele. No, but that's the way human beings think. I'm different. I don't have time. I get 6 newspapers. I have no time. I have no time for this. I have no time for that. Maybe you watch television at 10:30 at night. Maybe you watch his news at 10:30 at night. If you're a busy man, that is prime time. Maybe you're a kid who watches MTV at 1 o'clock at night. That is prime time. So what is this rubbish about 7:30, 9:30? These are from the days when GEC started. And it worked extremely well then. But it's like saying कि हमारे पास ambassador था, तो बस वही एक गाड़ी है. If you go back to 1982, before like somebody in Delhi told me, जब से सार ये मारुति आई, सारा शहर खराब हो गया. Okay, but all of us who've lived long enough. I mean, if you go back to even, I think Maruti was Feb of 84, the launch, if I'm not mistaken, 83, 84, around that time. There were 2 cars. And those 2 cars said, how much will the world change? Well, see how much the world has changed. You don't even see those cars on the road. I actually hired an ambassador last time I was in Calcutta just for fun. I hadn't driven in one in 20 years. It felt great. It was almost, like one antique childhood friend, where I had sort of grown up in an ambassador and sat in the back seat and said, my God, iska to legroom kitna acha hai. So maybe 20 years from now, your children would have heard about TPRP, CPRP and be very excited and say, what does that mean? Explain it to me. Anurag was talking about a Kindle. Okay, now it just looks like this. Okay, it reads like a book. It feels like a book. And let me tell you, I am very old-fashioned technologically. My wife is not, she bought this for herself. But I read 20 books a month. And I'm always leaving books on flights. I am half-read books. I left one half-read Wilbur Smith on Jet Airways. I drove them mad because I couldn't find that book on Amazon. I couldn't find it in a bookstore. I just wanted that book. And I kept emailing them and say, "Tu Charlie on this sector," and they said, "We can't find it." I said, "Dhundo, sit ke niche dhundo." And that's when I said, I need to change. So I stole it from her, downloaded 40 of my favorite books. You can even download Hindustan Times on this, incidentally, besides New York Times. So it's not about downloading New York Times, it's about downloading Hindustan Times. And how fantastic, this little thing has 80 books. It lasts me for months. I update it every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it has changed my life. And I don't even fly because it's part of me now. It's not just a book. It's like my mobile phone. I put this and my mobile next to each other. And when I get up, and I'm sure Anurag hopes that I might give it to him. No. When is your 50th birthday? Huh. Okay. But the point is that our lives are changing around us. I could not have dreamt of myself with an e-book a year ago. So when Anurag tells me that this time the downloads, e-downloads, were more than the regular downloads, I believe him. A year ago, I would have said, "Nahi yaar, ye internet entrepreneur hai." So the bolna hi hai. No, but I believe you because I'm seeing the change in myself. So I think the first thing is just understand the changes that you are going through. I had somebody, great believer in traditional outdoor, a company. So I live in Bombay. My office was at Prabhadevi. Half of them came from Nariman Point, half of them came from Andheri. And they said, "What is your medium compared to outdoor?" So I said, "Acha, ek simple question, mere ko answer do. What hoardings did you see on the way? What were you doing?" He said, "I was chatting with them." I said, "What were you doing?" He said, "I was on my BlackBerry." He said, "What were you doing?" I said, "To tum log kya sochte ho? That you're the only buggers who do this? Every other idiot in this city is opening his window, leaning out and saying, 'Wow, there's a new Airtel holding up.' Yeah. Look at it, think about it. He said, "No, I am on my BlackBerry. I am talking to so-and-so, but every other idiot in the city has his window down, air conditioning off, his head out of the window, looking for new hoardings in the city." Think about it. Now, it sounds funny, but it's true. I'm old-fashioned. I get 6 newspapers. till I reach home at night, those newspapers in my car, I'm constantly struggling to finish those newspapers. Constantly. I get up in the morning, I have a cup of tea, I pick up one newspaper, I leave it halfway, then in the car I'm saying, that I do 2 BlackBerry messages, then I'm going to spend time on my newspapers. Next thing I know, I've reached the office. I finished 30 messages in the BlackBerry. So why do I assume, and this is time and time again. All I'm saying is look at your habits, look at your friends' habits, then correlate it with market research data that exists. It is done every year by MRB Nielsen, showing everything dropping dramatically. Then question old terms like TPRP, CPRP, and then you will be able to give value to yourself and to your clients. An agency's point of view is what you asked me for. And I think that agency business has a lot to lose by change in this generation, so they don't want to change. And it has a lot to lose by not changing for the next generation. And therefore, I believe that it's not today's leaders. I think it is tomorrow's leaders who need to take the challenge for their own career. The truth is, Yahoo had search all along. It was one of their products. Google took search and built a company 5 times more valuable than Yahoo. That's the reality. Google has not invented search. Search was a Yahoo product. Yahoo search predates Google, if I'm not mistaken. Google is 10 years old. I think it predates Google by 5 to 6 years. But they want to do business a traditional way. Google said, no, tel dekho, tel ki dhara dekho. See where the world is going. I'm going to take this one element of this enormous company because this is change. This is the future. And I'm going to build something around it. And that is why they can afford to be arrogant. They have earned it. Right to be arrogant. It's not good to be arrogant. They will stumble because they're arrogant because when Google will come from the side. Okay? Yahoo got arrogant, Google came. Google got arrogant, Google will come. This is history. All right? But the fact is that they have bet on the future. So I think as opening remarks, all I would say is, if you want to remain relevant as you go forward, don't bet on the past. Just bet on the future. Jump in, and the future, funnily enough, if you bet on it, will bet on you.